Business to Business Marketing, Chapter 3, page 12. Continuation of human factors in business decisions. What can be said about the traditional stepwise process? Continued. A review of the facts is often done because the cultural process says it is supposed to be done. There is safety in having made a decision in a conventional way. Members of the buying center can always say, but I did it the way I supposed to. Facts are arranged to justify the decision that individuals in the buying center want to make. As decision makers, they are influenced by many intangible factors. Why do we think they can make a decision without regard to those influences? Why should they? People seek reinforcement for their beliefs in every factor that is presented to them. It is human nature to want to be right. Individuals want what they already believe to be true. In consumer buying, this is acceptable. In business buying, there is a need for rational justification to narrow choices and serve as a backup to decisions. Mutual dependence and customer loyalty. While not completely irrational, the needs of the organization must be satisfied. Business buying decisions also must satisfy the members of the buying center. Marketers can work hand in hand with a customer. Ideally, the goal is to create a mutual, rewarding relationship in which the customer becomes dependent on the solution or system rather than on just the core product. The focus is to create customer loyalty. This can make it expensive for the customer to change to another supplier. This investment is mutual and visible in a number of ways. Long-term contracts. As in any relationship, long-term commitments increase both the risk and the reward for the parties involved. The reduced uncertainty of long-term commitments makes it possible to better utilize resources for both organizations. Financial and emotional investment by both the selling organization and the buying organization in the success of the effort. Explanation: when the supplier and the customer have mutual financial interests that favor the success of their cooperation, not to be confused with any arrangements that may be termed illegal. See Chapter 4. There is more motivation to continue the relationship through the difficult times. In addition, the relationships among individuals in each organization develop an emotional investment in the success of members of the team. Organizational relationships are built on commitment. Personal relationships are built on trust. Involvement with the customer in research and development effort contributes to the organizational display of commitment. Trust in the process is built by the individual interpersonal relationships. The relationship aspect of selling are further examined in Chapter 12. A brief psychology of this process. Like any managerial decision, decisions made in the supplier selection process are made with a degree of uncertainty. They must be. For a decision to be made, with absolute certainty, all rational details and rational outcomes must be known. If these factors are known, the decision can be made by a series of binomial choices. A computer program does not require attention of management, judgment, or intuition. It would be a computer program, and for this reason, not requiring attention of management, judgment, or intuition. Simon made the observation that decisions are made by bounded rationality. This model states that decision makers do not know all possible outcomes or payoffs and have limited motivation to search for additional alternatives, opting for the first alternative that meets the minimum standard of performance. This can lead to satisfactory but not necessarily optimum decisions. Simon called this satisficing behavior. In the buying center, behavior that reflects this thinking would lead the marketer to believe that being the first supplier with a plausible offering may be sufficient to win the business. Satisficing can be seen as the first step beyond core product offerings, but experienced marketers know this often is not enough to capture business, let alone create a lasting relationship. While being first to market is often cited as a good positioning strategy, marketers interested in maximizing the value offering should look for optimal rather than sufficient positioning. Sherlock states that customers form a value image associated with supplier alternatives. This image is the sum total of all impressions and experiences that the buyer has of the supplier, whether or not pertinent to the current buying situation. These impressions act at the individual, organizational, and personal levels. This value imaging is not unlikely conscious product or market positioning, in that it is entirely in the customer's mind. The value image is formed by the customer and may have little to do with the actual product or service. Marketers should actively seek to maximize, not satisfy, positive value image in the mind of the customer. Here we see value image. Value image is the total of all impressions that a customer has of the firm. It is a very powerful motivator, perhaps because so much of an individual's beliefs about a firm, situation, or occurrence are based on forgotten experiences. While the concept of value image is more obvious in consumer markets, it has application in business-to-business markets as well. Application in business relationships. So how do we apply this in business marketing? Individuals have attitudes and beliefs about a number of things. Images and symbols are associated in memories with values and experiences. A pink money beating a drum, associated with batteries, a red circle with white script writing, a soft drink, a gecko, small lizard in a heated conversation, auto insurance. These symbols represent whatever value, positive or negative, customers associate with those images and the type of outcomes they expect from those values. People relate to the roles that others play in the same way. Customers, the numbers of the buying center, have associations with the company products and marketing and sales professionals. All aspects the supplier brings to the table in the process of marketing. These associations create powerful expectations of behavior. In some instances, these are positive associations that aid the marketing effort, while in others, they may unknowingly work against the marketer. Unfortunately, they are difficult to generalize. We cannot make a table of 5 things to do in typical business book style to be successful. This cake has no recipe. As an example of rationalized decision-making that seeks to satisfy more than core needs, say that you are a junior in college about to purchase your first new car. You have saved a long time working 2 part-time jobs to get through school and still be able to afford this new car. You can purchase a small, economical, boring car that financially is the logical choice for a student with at least 1 year of college remaining. Or you can purchase that GT convertible exciting that you would, logically, keep beyond your graduation, eliminating the need to sell the economical car and buy another a step up when you graduate. Which choice will you make? Either can be made to sound logical and rational. This type of rationalized decision-making occurs in business buying decisions. In a business context, suppose you are the information systems manager for a startup company. You must decide between Lenovo desktop computers for your employees or lower cost clones assembled by a local reseller. Depending on your attitude toward risk and your need for quality assurance after purchase support and ability to upgrade, you could logically select either supplier.